Hello.
Oh, Mario, you made it today, huh? You made it.
Yeah, but I think we have to do it on Friday mornings or
Right.
skip Fridays.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I had to change all my schedule.
oh boy. Okay. Well,
No, you shaved that in.
yeah, I shaved. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Today's my end of my shloshim, so I'm glad to take it off.
I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrible because it's another reminder,
I know. Sad part. Yeah. We had they made a shloshim in Seattle. And everything was on Zoom, from all over the world. People that knew
Oh,
my brother spoke. People that they had to see him, and then they had
how many brothers? How many brothers were you?
he's one, my younger brother. That was him. I have an older brother and a younger sister. We were four of us.
The one who died is the youngest?
Yeah, he was younger than me. He was 5 years younger than me.
Wow.
But he was sick. But I thought he would pull through, but he didn't make it. So he was a good brother. He had four children. He has four children. All have what beautiful families. All Shomer Torah mitzvahs. Growing up in Seattle is not easy.
No.
And but he stayed there in Seattle when we moved away from my parents and we moved to California, and he stayed there, and he's just a wonderful brother. He was really, and he has wonderful children, Baruch Hashem, and he was just a beautiful brother. He just did everything for me he could. He was just a special person.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least thank God we were together for so many years. It's we grew up in a wonderful situation. Cousins, uncles,
not too much
cousins.
you can do.
I know there's nothing you can do. Yeah, we were all very close. All the cousins we had. My father was one of six brothers, and all the brothers almost all lived in Seattle. We raised with cousins. All the cousins were brothers and sisters to us. Yeah.
We were 8 cousins.
You're 8?
Yes, but now we only, let's see, 2. We have 4 left.
You were 8 siblings?
Me, my sister, my cousin. That's 3. And the sister of one of the cousins who died. So, no, 7. We were 7. We are 7.
How many siblings?
Huh?
How many siblings are you?
Oh, me and my sister only.
Okay. Where did you grow up? In Antwerp?
No, in Uruguay. South America.
Oh, in Uruguay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Your parents came after the.
No, we left in 72 and lived in England for 6 years. And then we came to America in 76.
Okay, so tomorrow night we're going to learn at 6:30.
Yes.
And now we're on Sari Zion, 97. We said Echad Chadoshos, Echad Yishon Rameir. You could bring in tefillin old, new. Rabbi Yehuda Bechadoshos Umat B'Yishoret. He prohibited with the new ones because we thought that it's kameya. Alma Mar Sovar Torah Chinish, that Rabbi Yehuda will hold that People will make an amulet even though it looks like tefillin. Therefore, you cannot take those in. But Reb Meir holds, no, people are not going to take the trouble to make an amulet like tefillin. Therefore, it's real tefillin, you can take it in. That there's a different understanding of Yeshonos and Chadoshos. That he holds, Yeshonos means kol sheyesh ben rutzuos u'mekusharos. It has straps and they've been tied to make the dalid and the shin and the yud. Chadoshos yesh ben rutzuos v'lo mekusharos. They have the straps, they haven't been tied yet. And the kulam lo Torah finished. And because they're real tefillin, nobody is going to spend the time to make amulets that look like tefillin. Now, since the tefillin have not been tied appropriately, then you can't carry them the way you normally carry them b'chol, so you would not be allowed to carry them on Shabbos. That's the machlokes Rav Meir and Rav Yehuda. Freit the Gemara, v'lidvinu me'anev. So why not make a knot, make a bow? Normally, it's a problem to make a kesher shel kayom on Shabbos. But let Rav Yehuda make a bow, and then you can carry him in. On Rav Chizda Zoyz Meretz, based on this, aniva psula b'tefillin, that making a bow for tefillin doesn't work to make kosher tefillin. Abaya gives a different answer. Abaya Rav Yehuda l'tamei. The Omar aniva kshir ma'ayusei. That's just the opposite. Aniva is a real knot, and therefore he can't do it a knot because it's also to do a knot on Shabbos. The reason he doesn't allow it is because he holds that making a bow is a real kesher. So what are you going to tell me? That otherwise he would make a bow? If it was not, how it has to be made. You can't just all of a sudden say that you can use a bow. Halach Moshe Messina tells you exactly how to do it. The shin has to be sticking outwardly. And also the daled and the yud, so you can see it. So the Gemara says, yeah, we're talking about a case, the onivlu ke'en kshir didu. These people knew how to make a bow so that it looks like our regular kshira so that you can see it. You go to a wholesaler to buy tefillin. So how do you know that the guy knows how to write tefillin? So you check 2 of the yad tefillins and 1 of the head tefillins. Because chazaka you need 3. If you see 2 of one and 1 of the other, then you know that he knows what he's doing. So the Gemara says, Manav if you're buying it from one person, so why livdok o shol shel yad o shol shel rosh? Why do you have to do yad and rosh? Just check 3 of one of the kind. So the Gemara says, if you're buying the lot from 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 different people, then each person would need his own bedika. You wouldn't make chazaka to just check 3 and you're done. So the Gemara says, you're buying from one person. So why don't we just check 3 of the yads or 3 of the roshes? Because we have to establish that he's a mumche both to write head tefillin and yad tefillin. Or says, Ini, is that so? He said, all you have to do is check 3 yads or 3 roshes. My love, o sholosh shel yad, o sholosh shel rosh, which is what the Gemara understands. Gemara says, lo, sholosh, mehen shel yad, mehen shel rosh, like us. You have to check 3 batim. Of them have to be some from yad and some from rosh. Freit the Gemara Vatani Rav Kahana, there's a mission that says, but tefillin boidik shtaim shel yad v'shel rosh. All you have to do is check 2, 1 shel yad, 1 shel rosh. The Gemara says that's because of the machlokes Tanakama and Rebbe regarding what chazaka is. Amani Rebbe Domer betrays zimni avisa chazaka. Rebbe holds that chazaka is established with 2. We paskin that chazaka is established with 3. Freit Gemara Rebbe a seifa. So what about the seif of that Mishnah? It says v'chein bat seves hasheni. When you find the second pile, v'chein bat seves hashlishi, the third pile. You have to do the same bedika. Freit the Gemara, if the Mishnah's Rebbe Shlishi Mi'isli, doesn't need to check the third pile. Once you check the first two piles, according to him, you have established chazaka. And for the Gemara, Moide Rebbe B'tzvosim. No, when it comes to piles, the mitreit los agavrin zovin, it's clear that you bought it from 2 or 3 different people, then of course you have an established chazaka. So in a chanami, says the Gemara, Yach afilu revi nami, afilu chamishi nami. If each pile is considered by a different person, then each pile needs its own chazaka. More says in a chanami, v'haydi tani shlishi lafuchem echaske, to show that it's not his normal din of chazaka of 2. But in oil afilu revi chamishi nami, he would have to check each pile for his either 2 or 3. Let's say you found it in a pile. What's the difference between tzvasim and krichos? They're both piles, except the piles are arranged differently. Tzvasim zuve. They're pairs. So you take a yad and rosh, put it together, and put it down. But krichos to krichan tuva. Krichos is just they're all individual. They're not piled up as pairs. Then the Mishnah said that if there's too many of them for you to calculate that you can't wear them all into the town, you have to stay with them all Shabbos and then Mevi'in after Shabbos. Why not bring in pair by pair, like we said? You can bring it in zug if you've calculated that you'll be able to bring all the tefillin in before Shkia. But if you can't bring it in before Shkia, there's no point in doing it because then you're being matriach and you have to come back anyways, right? If you can do it before Shkia machnis and zug v'ilo mashich alem avin. If you can't, then you have to stay with them. However, the Mishnah said, uvesakana, if there's a time of danger, we'll explain what that is. We thought, right, you cover them and you leave. There's another brisa that says, in a time of danger, you carry less than, you walk with it less than dalad amis, pachos me'arba amis. So Amar Rav Loi Kasha, habis hakonas nochri, habis hakonas listi. So if the Romans have declared exer not to put on tefillin, otherwise they're going to put you to death. So then you cover them, so it's not a bizoyon, and then you leave. But if it's only robbery, then you can, right? Then you could do dalad, and it's not a concern that you're going to be caught with it and they're going to kill you. Then you bring it in daladam, pachos midaladamas. So our Mishnah would said you cover them. Obviously, we're talking about sakonas nachri, that the Gentiles, the Romans, made exam. So then ema seifa. Reb Shimon Omer, nois l'chaver v'chaver l'chaver. You make like a fire brigade, where they handed a pail to each person, and that's how you bring the tefillin in. And l'chora, that's a problem, because then each person could be caught with tefillin in their hands. They could be killed. Kol shekei dav shemilza, it makes it worse. So what's going on here? So the word says chesuri mechsera. There's some words missing. This is how you have to understand the brisa. When do we say you cover it and leave? That's if the Romans have made a declaration against wearing tefillin. It's just a matter of being robbed from. So then you can walk pachos pachos. And there Reb Shimon argued and said, no, a better way to avoid Chilul Shabbos is to hand it from person to person. He's concerned that if you carry it, you might carry Dal Damas B'Shus Sarab, as the Gemara will tell us. Reb Shimon says you line up 100 people from where you found the tefillin until the town. You hand it from one person to another. So what's the machlokes? How come one says you can be moilech as pachos pachos, And the other says that you hand it from person to person, nobody wants. He thinks that that's a public desecration of Shabbos. People will know about it more, and it's better to keep it hidden. That it's better to do it from hand to hand. Why? If you carry it, sometimes he'll forget. So he thinks it's worse to do that way. Then the Mishnah said, if his child is out in the field, he can use the same methodology. Beno, my boy, what's his child doing there? So Dvei Menashe Tana, the Yeshiva Menashe learned, that the mother gave birth in the field. Even if there's 100 people, that even though it's hard to gather 100 people and carry it from one person to another person, it's better than pachos ma'arba. That's according to Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda Omer,
Pass it back and forth. Why can't he pass it back and forth? So he can pass it to his friends and he'll run Dal Amos and he'll pass it back to him. That's the same as other people. He's a new person. Once he passes it on to the next guy, he can go and pass it back and forth to each other.
When we pass it hand to hand, nobody does any walking. You just stand there.
Oh,
Because Rabbi Shimon is concerned if you let them do pachos ma'arba, he'll forget where he is and he'll walk down Amos b'shus harabim.
But Ernie, this case is a sakanas nefashos. It's a baby born in the...
No. Sakana nefashos.
But this baby is born in the field. That's what the example they're giving. The baby is born in the field.
The Rishonim clearly learn that this sakana nefashos, you could take a car and drive Bechal Shabbos.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. This baby is born in the field. Come on.
It's not considered sakana nefashos.
A baby born in the field is not sakanas nefashos?
This case is not.
How is that possible?
I'm going to say, L'dasa Talmud Yerushalmi, Meduber kan betinik shel sakana klomer sheyeh sakana nefashos. But Talmud Bavli doesn't learn that way. We're not talking.
I don't know how not.
It's telling you that even if it's not sakana nefashos, they still give you an eighth of how to carry you into the city.
I understand, but then why did he bring up the baby? Bring up a little kid that can't walk.
Also will be in a situation where the baby is there, but it's not sakana nefashos anymore. Still, you're allowed to bring him in.
Okay, but to bring a different example there. Okay.
No, it wants to show. So first of all, the Talmud Yerushalmi learns like you. That, but it's
at least they were miskaven to the right thing.
No, because it doesn't make sense. Because if it's sakana nefashos, you don't need pachos medalad amas. You could carry.
That's what I'm saying. So use a different example. Use a baby. Use a baby that's 6 months old. The Bavli should use a baby that's 6 months old. And
the mother gave birth 2 weeks ago.
That's not what it says.
Still out there.
That's not what it says.
But the Rishonim explained this Gemara. It's obviously not talking about sakana nefashos, because sakana nefashos, you don't have to do hand to hand, and you don't have to do pachos me'arba amos. You can buy.
So it's the wrong example.
No, it's an example of a yeled that's not besakana.
Okay, fine. It's not what it says, but okay, if you say so, I'll agree. It's not what it says.
I understand. It says that beno, but the case of beno cannot be a case of sakana nefashos. Because if it's sakana nefashos, then like you say, you don't have to be mama'et any of this business. Okay. Then Rabbi Yehuda Omer noisin od mechavis. We said that a barrel of water can also be taken wherever your tchum is. Well, we know that that's the case. What's the chiddush here? Wherever the bailim can go, that's where you can take your kelim. What we're talking about here is the barrel is full of water, and you're pouring water from one person's barrel to the other person's barrel. It means you're moving the water, and we're dealing, and water is treated differently. Water is viewed as if it's not anything substantive, and you can take water anywhere. It's not Rabbi Yehuda poiter b'mayim, they shein ben mamish. That's another machlokes by when you bake something with water and salt into a dough. So we can ignore the water because mayim ben mamish.
Yeah, but you carry it in a kli. You don't carry. How can you carry the water without a kli?
Right, so you can pour it from kli to kli. But the barrel can only go karagli abaylim, but the water can go beyond. So umay lo tahalech zu. What does it mean lo tahalech zu? Lo yahalech masha b'zu yotzim ragli abaylim. That which is within it cannot go beyond the ragli abaylim. That's if water is the Gemara rejects this. When did Rabbi Yehuda say mayim has no mamish? That's when it's absorbed in the dough. But when you have water be'en, where it's physical water, we never heard that he's mavatal water, and we didn't, and water doesn't have mamish. It has mamish. If you have water in a cooked dish, and Rabbi Yehuda says it's not bottle beinayu batli, it's certainly not going to be bottle if the mayim is be'en. The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda mayim melach, water and salt, betelin be'isa. However, ein betel bekedera. They're not considered bottle in a dish, but they write because of the gravy. So that can't be the understanding of the bear. The barrel has established a makom, mesuyim, prior to, but the mayim did not. Like water of a spring that moves, it didn't acquire shvisa. The bottle chavis the gabi mayim, and therefore when you fill the barrel with that water, the barrel is bottled to the mayim, which doesn't have a koine shvisa. It's not. We see examples where things are bottled to other things. You have a baby on a mattress. Potter, and you carry the chai. Now, chai is noises atzmo. A live person makes himself lighter when he's carried. So we're not chai for carrying a live person. So when you carry a live person on a mattress, potter afal mita. The mita is tafel to the person. It's bottled. Neshamita tfeilalo. Now, when we learn Masechta Shabbos, we learn that to carry foods has to do with a certain shear. Each food is different. Now, let's say you put pachas of the shear of the food in a kli, and you carry that outside, you're potter for the food, and you're potter for the kli. Potter avala kli, but that's a kli tafelo. So the Gemara wants to say here, too, the barrel is nullified to the water, and the water was not koine shvisa. So Moses, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Bishayara in a caravan were makel, that they rested in a meadow, and it's an anus, and they have no water. So there, so for that you can pour water from one person to the next, from barrel to barrel. But that's a kula that Chazal made because they were anusim. Remember, a bika is a carmelist. It's only a rabbinic rishus anyways. But b'shayara in, shalo b'shayara lo. But this concept that they gave water the ability to have its own legs, as we say, was not done for an individual person. Our Mishnah is talking about b'shayara. So you can pour from water from chavis to chavis, not a problem. Baya Amar b'shayara afilu chavis shekon shvisu mayim shekon shvisa. By a shayar, you can move water even if both the chavis and the mayim were koine shvisa before Shabbos. Now shelo b'shayara chavis shekon shvisu mayim shelo koine shvisa, you can move, but if they've both been koine shvisa, you can't move them. Rav Ashi Amar, a different pshat. Hacha b'chavis de hefker askina. Hefker, the chavis doesn't belong to anybody. Umayim de hefker askina. And therefore doesn't have any regel. Uman amrulo, who said this? Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Omar, chefse hefker konin shvisa. Yochanan said it, he said it to them because according to Rav Yochanan, chefse hefker can also be konin shvisa where they are. When they started, that you can go 2,000 amas from that area. And that's what the Mishnah means. They can't go more than that have a bailim, which is 2,000 amas from where they were when Shabbos started.
Would you say that in case the keli is worth much more, let's say it's a gold plate or gold cup.
If you're carrying it for the food.
For the food, even for the food. So that
Now,
yeah.
let's say you needed the kli, then in a chanami, you'd be high for the kli. Because it's an expensive kli, you want to use the kli somewhere. But if you're carrying it because of the food, I don't think it makes a difference whether it's a more valuable kli or not. Mishnah. A person sitting on his stoop in front of his house, and it's a rolled up Megillah, and he's in the Rishus HaYachid, and it unrolls, but he still holds a piece of it, right? But it rolls, part of it rolls out into the Rishus HaRabim. So Gololo Etzel, he can roll it back to him. Because there was no Akira or Anacha, he can bring it back. If he's on the roof, and he's holding the Megillah, and his Gagil Sefer Yodah, and it unrolls. So actually, Gila Asar Tfachim, as long as it's above Asar Tfachim from the Rishus HaRabim, Gololo Etzel can roll it back to him. Because it's a Makam P'tur, like we learned, above Asar Tfachim. Now, Mishigila, once it reaches within 10 Tfachim of the ground, so we don't allow you to roll it back to you. What you do is you turn it upside down. So now the writing is facing the binyan. So it's not a bizoyan that you're leaving the writing open on Shabbos. And then you'll unroll it, you'll bring it back to you on Shabbos. Once Shabbos is over. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. As long as it doesn't touch the ground, you can roll it to yourself. Once it touches the ground, he doesn't allow you to roll it. Reb Shimon Omer, afilu ba'aretz, even if it hit the ground, golo etzlo. She'elecha davar mishum shvus omer b'fnei kisvei hakodesh. It's only a rabbinic problem that we would avoid you to do it, because there was no akira v'anacha, and because of the holiness of kisvei hakodesh, nothing stands away in the holiness of kisvei hakodesh. Not a shvus midrabon. Now the Gemara wants to know ha iskufa hechidami. Please describe this iskufa. Elaine iskufa Rishus HaYachid v'kam Rishus HaRabim. Is the iskufa Rishus HaYachid, and in front of you is Rishus HaRabim? And why do we allow you to roll it back to yourself? You're not concerned that maybe you'll drop it and you'll come and get it. Who is that? Mani Reb Shimoni. And this we will continue tomorrow night at 6:30.
Shkoyach,